Hello, and welcome back to the Random Ash. Today we have we have Matt from
Fire, bro.
I know,
Fire.
right? I didn't read my talking points, man. I don't have a teleprompter here. Just spent 15 minutes talking to Matt, and I'm like, I can't even get his name right. But anyway, so we have Matt standing in for Zeno from Sober Cigars. Then in addition to that, we have our guy Sal back, A Perf, and of course myself, Martin from Broncano Cigars. So this week, who's Cello? And we're not talking about the instrument. It's just right. It's not even really like a real topic, but I was just thinking like sometimes you go to the cigar lounge and you sit there and the ashtray is full, and you be like, "Who fucking cheap ass Cello is that?" And it's a it's a $8 sticker on there. You thinking like, who the fuck was smoking that? You looking around, peeking, man, who's a cheap bastard? In some case, that's why
and then you realize it's a Perdomo. It's a Perdomo champagne. That's why it's yellow.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah. So with that, I know myself personally. When I always grab my Cello and I throw it in my pocket because I don't want guys knowing what I'm smoking on or how much I paid for it. But anyway, so that's just what that's about. But we probably have Sal go a little deeper into that champagne comment. I'm not.
Okay, so we don't even need to go deeper. Have you ever smoked a Perdomo champagne?
I don't think I ever smoked a Perdomo in my life.
Yeah, the Cello is naturally, it's a yellow tint. It's not from the cigar. That's just the color of Cello that they chose. So, not to be confused with what we're going to go into later, but that's why I pointed that out. It wasn't a dig at Perdomo because I like Perdomo cigars.
And I've got, if you guys want to get into that, I brought that cigar out with the maroon red Cello. If that comes, we don't have to, but I'm just saying I brought it out. So
we'll get into it because I forgot, was it a Padron or a Puente?
Padron.
Okay.
The one I got's a Padron.
So we'll get into it, but I thought I saw somebody post something similar. I'm like, oh, that must be what Matt's talking about because it almost had that maroon colored Cello. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Yeah. I'll wait and tell the story of how I even got it later. No big deal.
So what are you smoking on, Matt?
So I had brought out a Drew Estate 20-acre farm, Connecticut there. I enjoy that cigar, but the thing had a crazy tunnel on it and I couldn't fix it. So I had to toss it. So I just grabbed the nearest thing, which is a Crowned Heads Broadway.
That's such a good cigar.
I had accidentally bought these. There was a deal and I was like, I don't know what I was trying to buy because it's been a little bit now. I clicked to order a couple of 5-packs, and a week later these things show up, and I'm like, "What? I didn't order these." And I go back and look, and I'm like, "Oh, they messed up. Maybe I need to send them back. They need to get my." No, I screwed up, so I'm like, "Screw it." And for me, Crowned Heads last year I like Crowned Heads, but last year some of the new releases were kind of needing some time on them, kind of situation. So I was nervous about this one. I was like, is this going to need to sit for a little bit? I fired it up, and I've been enjoying it.
Yep. So what I'm smoking on is the Papi De Niro. I was going to smoke the M Bombay. Is that the correct way of saying it? The Baja? Yeah.
The Gaja?
But I did. Yeah, Gaja. Thank you. The reason why I didn't, because it's freaking, I'm in my garage, and if it's a horrible, I didn't want that cigar to be a horrible experience because it's cold inside here. And I know for a fact that these smoke pretty well in this type of weather. So that's the reason why I really want to. I haven't smoked cigars since last week Monday because I had a cold, but I really wanted to smoke that, but not today.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the colder weather. I know we touched on it in a couple episodes, but I mean, you ain't gonna be smoking no Connecticut, that's for sure. You need some. So what? I think the Papi De Niro's a San Andres wrapper, and then the Broadway is broadleaf, I believe.
I believe so.
So yeah, so both a little bit more hardy, that can sustain the humidity change and not crack on you. So, but we got to get mad on that Papi de Nero, bro. Dude, it's a great cigar. Dude, how'd you like that emerald? The emerald puss.
Oh, that was really good. You know, that's only the second Sir Louis cigar I've had. Dude, I've been missing out.
Dude,
I've been missing out on the Sir Louis train.
I was missing out too, and Zeno put me onto him. And then I was like, all right, let me just do an order. Bro, not mad at all.
Yeah.
So
good prices and good cigars.
Yeah, I think the Emerald was Weber, right, Martin?
I believe so. Yeah, because they had that broadleaf in there.
That one did have the broadleaf. Mm-hmm. I believe it was from Weber, and then the Papi, I think that's KBF as well.
Right. Yeah, this one is actually. I know the OG is definitely KBF.
The new one, that's the Cassius King version.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where that one's out of, but I do have a 4-pack of that too. So I missed out on the first ones, and then I waited for the restock, and I got those ones.
Yeah, the site tomorrow and get a couple of each. Get a few of each.
Yeah, dude, they're good. I mean, even like his Connecticut Lancero was really good. It made its way probably in my top 5 Connecticut's. He's got, and if he's got them in stock, I know he's got a Lancero. It's in a Connecticut, a Habano, and a Maduro. I haven't had the Habano Maduro, but the Connecticut, I mean, with a cup of coffee in the morning, money.
Hey, once we get done here, shoot me a message with all these recommendations, because
tomorrow, for sure,
I'll go on and see what he's got. And if not, I want to add these to my cigars to try list I keep on my phone. So
yeah, for sure, we'll do that.
Dude, I just got into Lanceros like a year ago. You guys rock Lanceros often or mess with them? I just recently got into them.
I used to be a fan of the Davidoff Lancero. Then I went back to Toros. I moved on from it. I mean, I think I'd rather have a Corona over a Lancero just because the amount of smoky time. And with a Lancero, I'm constantly waiting for it to be finished. I'm like, man, can't wait till this shit is done. With a Corona, it's just boom, 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 and it's done.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I'm a fan of Corona Gordas too. The first Corona Gorda that I had was actually from Crux. From Crux Cigars, and it had the red label, which is their Connecticut, and I was blown away at that thing. I mean, but to Martin's point, the smoke time, and you're not out there for a long period, but you can still get tons of flavor out of it. And for me, Lancero is probably within the past year, and surprisingly, I believe wasn't really a Lancero, it wasn't a Lonsdale, but it was actually the Antra from Sanj Patel.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, great cigar. And then after that, it was the Cohiba Riviera, which I really liked. That thing was solid. Had a little spice to it. So I really enjoyed that one. The Sir Louis one. I've gotten a couple other from Oak Glen Tobacconists. I don't know if you've heard of that shop yet. California now, I believe they're in North Carolina. But I'm subscribed to his variety pack, and he usually sends a couple. So I have a Maduro and a Connecticut from him that I have yet to smoke eventually. Hopefully I'll get to those at some point. But yeah, I've been rocking with Lanceros, but you do got to set away a little bit of time. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But I enjoy them. I think I got caught up early on with it's not very manly to smoke a Lancero. These big old gorilla hands, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's like smoking a Newport with one of those fancy cigarette holders back in the day. But dude,
Cruella
I know
DeVille from that cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I also know I got into him too because I know him. Sosa is a big Lancero fan. Yes. So I've been kind of paying attention to what he suggests, and even Skinny Money has suggested him too, specifically the LFD in the Oscuro wrapper, which apparently you can only get from Jack Schwartz. So,
he sent me the first one I had that I had a couple early on, and I got some duds, whatever. So I was like, whatever. But I had the Martinique. Now I had the Martinique by Principal Cigars in both the Corona Gorda and the Lancero, and I like them both. And I said something, and Sosa, we swap cigars once in a while, and he sent me some Lanceros to try out, and there was an LFD double Lajero in there, and I was like, and at this time too, I've been kind of not gravitating away from like the big bold Maduros and all that. I've just naturally, I'm starting to get more lighter shades, more nuanced stuff. I still enjoy broadleaf and all that. It's just not a daily driver. So I'm looking at this double Lajero Lancero, and I'm like, he swears by it. Let me try it out. And I really enjoyed the thing. It was like, a nice medium roast coffee was the main note, and it was very prominent. And so I smoked another one, and I had it with coffee and creamer, and I was like, all right, this is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been paying attention. He's mentioned that a few times, like on the Discord, that specifically that double arrow. So yeah, I've got to get that one. I've got to get that one skinny he's talking about. But I'm a fan of Lanceros, to be honest. I mean, I know Martin feels a little dainty. He wants a Toro.
Well,
right. That's what, like I said. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we need a ruby red Lancero.
So, to the Davidoff, they do a great Lancero. Because I remember they came out with a Lancero like 3 years ago. Then Sam Vlad, he came out with a Lancero that's pretty tasty. It's just some places I just, as a brand owner, I guess, I mean, I know where to compete at, and that's where as of right now, maybe 10 years from now, 5 years, that's maybe a route to go. But right now, I'm not going to touch it. And I know that KBF, they do Lancero as well, but that's the last thing I want. Plus, I'm all about the flavors and the nuances, because what you're going to get out of the Lancero is just a wrapper and a binder and some of the fillers. So, I mean, you got, like I said, you got to have somebody that's going to blend it correctly.
Well, let me ask you this, Martin. Being on the brand owner side, isn't it? Because I've heard here, it doesn't really get brought up much. I've heard a couple different times, different interviews, that to roll a Lancero, that's a completely different ball game than if you just go in saying like, hey, let's figure out this good blend. Okay, great. Let's do Robusto and Toro, maybe a Corona Gorda. When you get into Lanceros and even different shapes, figurados and stuff like that, isn't that a completely different ball game from your guys' end of things?
And again, I don't know what I don't know. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Sure.
Because I don't roll cigars, but I know, like, if we do like a Lancero, even a Corona, I mean, the blend is going to have to be tweaked, because the proportions, the percentages of the tobacco is going to have to be changed. And, you know, you got to decide if you want it to be wrapper forward or not when you get to the like the Lancero or the Corona size. I know with 52 and 54, it's not that huge variance. But when you get down to like 50,
sorry,
somebody's got weird gas going on.
That's the co-host on the calendar over here.
It sounds like Prison Chronicles. Don't drop the soap.
Hey, that's his Fifi. Leave him alone.
Right. But
if you don't know what Fifi is, y'all can Google it.
and I know, the 50 ring gauge size usually burns a little hotter than the 50 and 50, the 52 and the 54. So even with the Corona size, like that 44 or whatever it is, depending on who's making it, because everybody got their idea of what a Corona is. I mean, it can burn a little hot. But from the standpoint of sales, I mean, as a small brand, I mean, we got to make what's going to sell, Robustos and Toro. So anything outside of that, man, you just fucking practicing. I'm not. I just don't want to piss money away. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Robusto and Toro, from my understanding, there's a variance as far as, it could be ring gauges where it's size, but as far as flavor profile, there's not much of a change between the two. And it seems like a lot of, like smaller brands, they'll go with a Toro. They'll make like maybe an extra Robusto. But I think, I mean, if you were debating, and I know we've talked a little bit about it, and you've kind of bounced that, I think a Corona Gorda would be a great size to have if you can get the blend right. if you can get it right. I mean, in times like these, where in the colder states, you don't want to be out too long, but you want something good. I think that'd be a great size. But I mean,
what I like about the Toro, even over a Robusto, because that extra inch, it makes a difference if you burning your fingers than not burning your fingers. Like if the cigar is really good and you want to nub it, I mean, you still have that little extra room there to hold on to the cigar. With a Robusto, you get down there and you're fucking around with it, and
well, that's why you break out the cobalt tiny little eyeglass screwdriver like I do, or I take my cobalt. Oh, there it is. What is that? Cigar dagger?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got those.
Yeah.
A local shop actually has a ton of cigar dagger stuff, but they make some pretty cool shit. I mean, I get away with going in my toolbox and just getting one of those eyeglass things, and works just as much for free. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool
after the second episode, you guys talked about my Temu accessories, man. I threw everything.
Yo, you're
fuck. I'm
have
straight
you
Viking
your
over
Temu
here.
accessories? Have you showed Matt your Temu? Nope. Matt.
No. I'll watch the second show.
Was it the second one? Just watch when he busts out his Temu accessories.
I was excited, man.
With your circumcision scissors.
So real quick. So was there any key takeaways that you guys got from the Kellner shirt last week, Hendrik?
My biggest takeaway is that he's passionate about what he does and he loves what he does. He enjoys cigars. He enjoys the blending of them. Like, it seemed to me like it's not, because some people, they start a business or have a job or whatever just to make $1. I don't care. But it seemed to me like he came off to me like somebody who it's like, oh, he cares about what he does. He enjoys what he does. He wants to put his heart into the blends and the stuff he's putting out. And that I really appreciated. And that made me think a little bit higher of KBF, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Okay. That's good to know.
Yep. Same thing, to go along with Matt, that and him wanting to, not really be in the limelight. You see some brands with their owners, like they need that spotlight. Like he doesn't need that. He lets the work, his passion speak for itself, and it shows. I mean, he even said he prefers to do his private blends over his own blend, and that's what he does. Smoking Jacket, which is his, is kind of like when he has time to. But even that, he's still passionate about, and I really dig that. For me, I'm kind of the same way when it comes to work. Like I don't need all the recognition because I know, that person moves up, goes, or excels. Like that makes me happy, and that's kind of like where he's at. So I kind of shared that with him, and that's awesome. I mean, I feel like there's an influx of they need to be the spotlight and be on the platforms and all that, and there's some that don't. But again, that's just all what we see. And again, if you're a brand, you've got to market yourself. So, like I know we push Martin, like you got to get out there. But Martin's a one-man show as well. He doesn't have a full marketing team. He doesn't have, someone like, hey, here's your schedule. Martin's like, oh fuck. I mean, let me go close this deal and let me go hop on a podcast. You know what I mean? So, I dug that.
Plus, my thought process is being slow and steady, right? I don't want to just run out. You see some brands, and we can, even if you go back to COVID time, you see like this brand, boom, they shut up so quick, and then you go back and look, like, where's the buzz at? What happened? Where these guys at? I mean, you still probably smoke their cigars, but it's not to the point where everybody and his grandmother's, talking about it. But I think if grow at a steady pace, year over year or month over month and get more recognition. I'd rather go that route than sell out the first week. Then I'm sitting there like, usually when people sell out, it's not really selling out. They stocked out, right? They didn't have enough inventory. Yeah. So they're stocked out, not sold out. And I think, and this is probably going on to something else, but I think that's where that whole bullshit, it's a limited edition. Either A, you didn't have enough money to buy all the shit you needed, or B, it truly is a limited edition and a limited edition. But for me, I mean, I don't know, man. I had a limited edition. It went well. Everything I do from here on out is it's going to be regular production, and maybe down the line have an LE.
Yeah, and he touched on that, and I know we've talked a lot about LEs. I think that was a topic on multiple different podcasts on where LEs kind of fall. Is it a quick money grab for these brands? Is it a true LE? And sometimes like Hendrik was saying, he's got a bale of this super rare tobacco, and he's only got so much of it. Hey, sorry. He's only got so much of it. So in that case, that would be a true LE, right? Because once that's gone, you can't reproduce, you can't replicate. And that also goes along with the other topic that we were talking about was, having so many different tobaccos. And there's one tobacco that he had that he just cannot replicate. They cannot regrow it. They cannot do anything. That cigar's done. They've tried. He's tried to get close, and it's just not there. And I respect that, because he's not going to put it out just because, oh, this was a great LE, it did great, and put something else that just doesn't compare or fall short. Like that's integrity for me. It's like, all right, he's not out for the quick money grab, and like you did yours, but I mean, you got your core line, which is all solid across the board. I think you got something for everyone there, So for you to come out LE so early, I don't know. But then you also commit yourself, because you have a banging LE. You've got the hype now. Now you've got pressure. Well, I've got to be looking 12 months from now for on an LE. And then it's like this repetitive cycle. It's like your heart may not be in LEs, Then you lose focus of the core line, Yeah, what if you get a new batch of core line and it falls short? You're like, crap, I was so focused on here, my core line suffered.
I mean, look at Perdomo cigars. They're extremely successful. They sell 28 million cigars a year. I mean, who knows the exact number, but I think it's upwards of 28 million cigars a year. They don't do LEs. They do their core line, They might have another line of cigars come out, like this year was the Legacy and last year was the 30th, but before that had been a minute before anything really new came out. They seem to just focus on like core line. Hey, this is they got a lot of core line, but I'm just saying they got a bunch of it, and it's focused on production, keeping the blends consistent, a good draw and all that, and a fair price. They do well.
And there was actually a Perdomo sales rep at my local B&M not too long ago. And he was like, and this was before Legacy came out. So, probably within the past year. And he was just talking about how, Nick tries to keep everything within a price range that's attainable for anybody. If they did an LE, could he keep it at I think the Legacy's coming at maybe 16, which is the highest they've got?
Yeah.
Around there. Yeah. Anything more, he just didn't seem like he made it sound like there was just no interest for Perdomo in that field. And I think that kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like Toyota's not going to come out with a diesel. They've got GMC, Ram, and Ford. Like, why are they going to jump into a market that's overly saturated to know we may not do so hot here? So, smart move.
Everybody has their own business models, and hey, stick to it and do it well.
Right? You hear that, Martin? Stick to your shit. Stay in your lane.
Stick to your shit. Well, one good thing with Martin as far as marketing and stuff. So, first of all, when I met Martin, that's when I also the first time at that shop, Lake Country. And awesome. Dude, that's my new go-to when I'm in Milwaukee. I know I've told you that before. Dude, that's an amazing Sal. If you're ever up in the Milwaukee area. Anyways, great spot. But you're now with Small Batch, right? Aren't you on Small Batch?
Yeah.
Like, going to an online shop, I think is huge for, because at a local shop that doesn't sell online, you're kind of limited to those clients that come into there, because certain shops will sell certain cigars based on, there's a go-to shop I go to near me that they just have Legacy. They don't have really any boutique, no nothing. It's just all your Perdomo, your Rockies and all that. And I asked them like, oh, you don't have any like XYZ, whatever. Nah, I've tried, but it doesn't sell with this group of who comes in here. Then there's another shop I go to. It's pretty much all boutique. That's it, top to bottom. They got some Fuente and Perdomo. Besides that, it's all boutique. And he's like, the stuff sells like hotcakes here. And that's just in another part of town, like 30 miles away. And so when you're in a shop, I think you're kind of you're somewhat limited to those palates of those people who go there. But when you get online, if somebody's willing to, oh, let me try this out, or if it can get into a sampler pack or something like that to get into somebody's hands to try it, or somebody drops, you know, a review or whatever and other people see it and they can go online and get it, I think that's a good move.
Yep. So our last 3 has been in luxury cigars. Our Ruby is not there yet. I've been playing phone tag or whatever. But and to your point, and the best way I can, and Sal probably doesn't like this, equate it to is to at the dealership, right? You have where I was at, we had 4 desks on the showroom floor, right? On each showroom. So this guy, you know, it can be a person that sits less than 10 feet away from this guy, and he's the worst salesperson. And I shouldn't say worst, but he doesn't sell as much in volume. Then you also have like this other guy that's on that same show floor. He sells, you know, quite, you know, a significant amount of cars. Then you have like other people, they do average. And I think it goes back to how much time and dedication that a shop want to focus on different brands. So a lot of places, all they want to do is just, you know, hands off, like let it sell itself. And I think for some places it's too much, it may be too much extra work to guide somebody and push somebody towards those cigars. So I've been fortunate with Lake Country and the Humidor Ohio, where they actually do direct, you know, people towards my cigars. Now, if they purchase it, that's a whole nother story, but there is like conscious awareness where they do, when people come in, they have what's new, what would you recommend, instead of going to like the legacy brands or the easy to sell. I mean, my stuff is easy to sell once you smoke it, but the easy to sell stuff, I mean, they go in that direction. And again, like those guys, you saw how they were at Lake Country, where they do actually a couple cats there, they were actually pushing, you know, my cigar, so which is great. I even got a shop that I'm not in, and they push my cigar, but just got to get in that shop. Anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, to go back to Matt's point, I do want to ask, so with the two different shops, one being a mostly legacy and the other carrying boutique, owner-wise, are they older? Are they around the same age, or is the carrying boutiques a little bit younger and more in tune to what's happening as far as like stuff we do, you know, the reviews on the boutiques, and really bringing more light to them?
So both of these guys, both of the shop owners, they're about the same age, and we're in the part of town we're in roughly the same part they're 30 miles apart or so, but we're still in the same section of town. So the one guy, the one that has just a lot of the legacy stuff, I mean, he's got a few things in there, right? A few other things. But I guess a few years ago when he took over this shop, he had a guy come in to run the humidor section, and I guess brought in all sorts of wilds, and it just didn't move. They tried everything, and like the product just wasn't moving. So he's trying to rebuild his humidor. So he said he wants to get a few things in, but he's going to be a little more picky this time, because last time they just kind of went wild with stuff. And I don't know to what extent that means. I don't know what brand, whatever. But he was like, yeah, so the legacy flies off the shelf, so I'm keeping that, and I'm just slowly bringing stuff in. That's where I got the Privada Cigar Club cigar. He said they had just brought that in to kind of test the waters. So I think he's just a little antsy to get too crazy with it, because they did it and then they kind of, things didn't go well for him. Which is weird, because it's like, we're all in the same area. But the other dude with the boutiques, I guess when he started, he always liked boutique cigars, and he just stocked it up, and people in that part of town, I guess, buy them.
And to your point with Privada, Brian has them trained to go to the shop the day it dropped to go pick those cigars up. Yeah, so hopefully they get some overflow from that. I mean, in theory, that's the reason why Coles went to taking Amazon orders or Amazon returns, hoping when you walk through Coles that you'll stop and purchase some items from Coles. I mean, in the beginning, that shit didn't go too well for him, but I guess now it's starting to come to fruition.
I need to handle all the returns from now on, because they get my wife every time.
Yeah, and they're every time 15% off too. Like, oh, here's
they give you Coles cash.
Yeah.
You do a return and they give you like, oh, here's 10% off or 20% off your next purchase at Kohl's. There we go, wandering through. They've got me. I went in to do returns. I'm like, damn, that's a nice shirt.
You was over there in Sephora, huh?
Motherfucker. Here we go. You gonna start your shit? Here we go. Let me sit up. Let me sit
15%
up.
off.
Hey, 15% off, and it gets me out the doghouse. Play the cards right. Play your cards right, Martin.
So they what they did here and elsewhere, they removed the jewelry section and they put the Sephora stuff over there.
Because y'all fools are always robbing that shit.
I used to buy the black diamond rings from Kohl's. They used to always have them shits on sale, so they moved them around, so it's not in there anymore.
I ain't even gonna lie. Kohl's prices have gone up, but you hit their like going out of stock or clearance sales, you can get some good deals. I got a few recent things from there on some Amazon returns. Nah, but anyways, what's up with this yellow cello? What? So here's one thing that you touched on before. When you remove the cello, you put it in your pocket because you don't want people smoking or anything like that. So I was at one of the local B&Ms, and apparently, I don't know if it's the same for every B&M. They hate when you put the cello in the ashtray. I don't know who does that or who thought of that. But every time I walk in, I'll find one or two ashtrays, and there's, either a dude by himself or they went as a group, and the cello's in the ashtray. Now it bothers me. I'm like, why would you put that there, dude?
We talked about this a couple times while you were out, Sal. It came up with cigar lounge etiquette and all that. And that's one of the even Holtz did a video on cigar lounge etiquette because they have a cigar lounge and all that. Yeah, and that's one of the big ones they brought up too. They were like, the ashtray is for ash and the rest of your cigar. It's not for the band. It's not for the cello. It's not for your gum. It's just the ash. Then we have trash cans. That's where your trash goes. And
it's in the name, ash tray, not cello tray, not band tray.
I know for some of the lounges or shops, I don't know the correct verbiage, but I found out it's kind of hard pressed to find a freaking trash can in most places, man.
They usually put them in the corners. They usually put them in the corners where you got to get up and walk to them.
I think Lake Country has it behind the counter.
Does it? I know because we have a CI that's literally like 5 minutes from my house. The trash cans are by the humidor, so when you go to throw it away, you're like, I've even gotten like, let me just grab a couple more before I leave, or let me just grab that. I'm like, oh, y'all are smart. they're by the humidor and they're by the bar.
That's why
none of them are within like arm's distance.
That's why Costco puts their rotisserie chicken in the back, because you're going to show up to get their rotisserie chickens for like $5. They lose money. They lose millions every year on rotisserie chicken, but they make it up because if you're going there just for that, more than likely you're grabbing something else on the way out.
Dude, Costco's such a trap. I believe it, because I'll be like, I'm in there for one thing, toilet paper, paper towel, something. But then you find yourself, well, let me just see what they got in the aisles. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Then you forget what you're even there for.
Yep.
Same thing with Buc-ee's. You ever been to Buc-ee's? Did you go to Buc-ee's when you were out here, Matt?
I have not yet. That's on my next time I'm out there. I'm going to one.
Yeah, just come prepared. If you get out of there under $100, you're lucky.
Like I just came here for a pack of gum.
Right.
To me, Buc-ee's it's like Wawa or a Quick Trip. Ever been to Wawa?
Yeah, I've been to Wawa.
It's kind of like Buc-ee.
QT. We call it QT out here. But essentially, Buc-ee's is bigger though.
It's bigger than that? Okay.
Yeah, well, because they they've got your snacks, food, but then they've also got like camping gear, they've got deer corn, they've got
brisket,
solos, dude, brisket sandwiches.
They smoke there.
Chopped or sliced. Dude, they got chicken sandwiches now that are pretty banging. They have breakfast burritos, kolaches, beef jerky.
Based on the videos I've seen on them, it's not like your normal gas station food. It's not just warmed up in the microwave by 92-year-old Tina in the back, like it's...
Dude, They got the brisket chopping on the board right there. You can see it. When they bring it out, they unwrap it. They got this big, that cleaver that you can kind of just rock back and forth, dude. And they're chopping fresh, making sandwiches. Again, Bucky's is a money pit. Every time I go, I'm never out of there. And we always go with the kids, which is the biggest mistake. So I'm always like 100, 120 bucks deep. Of course, I got to get what I'm going to get too, so might as well. But
so
they carry some good shit.
We're getting the Bucky's here in Oak Creek. They're building it out right now. Yeah. But no, so Bucky's is very similar to Quick Trip. I mean, because you have a Quick Trip by you, Matt, right? If you go over to Wisconsin, even when you went to,
we got a bunch of them.
Yeah. So it's a very similar concept. I think it's a lot better. I mean, Wawa is the shit. That's what when I went to school in Philadelphia, that's all everybody was talking about. Wawa.
I discovered Wawa a while ago. It's okay. I think QT beats Wawa, to be honest. I don't know if you guys have. We have a racetrack out here. Yeah, that's like sea level QT. They're not as great, but they do frozen yogurt. At least my racetracks do. Not all of them do. But anyway, I don't know how this compares to cigars and cello, but
I don't know.
I don't know. We just went on a tangent. God damn.
Now we're at the gas station getting.
I think none of them have cigars. Hey, owned by Drew.
They got cigars. They got cigars. They got the.
You're gonna smoke an
White Owls. They got the White Owls, and the,
Yeah, grape Swisher Sweets.
Yep.
Again, I think that was the topic that we touched on, and none of them were smoked for the tobacco. That's for sure. None of them are used for tobacco.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're on the yellow cello. So I've maybe had 2 of them that had yellow cello, and it was just because they were just super old and they were gifted to me. But apparently, I mean, there's much more to a yellow cello. As we know, we mentioned the Perdomo, where it's actually the cello is actually tinted. That's the purpose of it. From aging. But I know there's a topic that Zeno loves to talk about, and I know Matt, and it's when that famous word "batum" comes into play. But I mean, what are kind of some of the things that you heard on why the cello could be yellow, other than kind of what we've mentioned?
So the only thing I knew about yellow cello before Zeno had mentioned this other topic, it's the oil, and I'm not a professional at anything, so anybody in the comments or watching this in the afterplay, if I'm wrong on anything, just tell me. But
nope, somebody
cello,
will correct us.
Which is breathable, it gets the yellow cello because the oils are releasing from the cigar, which is why they say sometimes if you want a cigar to age, if you want it to go through an aging process quicker, you take the cello off of it, because with the cello on, even though it breathes, it's obviously, because you can see it on the cello, it's going to hold more into it. And some people will say, I've heard some people on shows say, oh, well, I don't want yellow cello. That's all the flavor out of the cigar. But I have personally, here's what I found, is sometimes you get cigars and sometimes I want some of that whatever flavor that's there to change on me. So I want that to come out. So I bought a box of Warhead X last year, 2 years ago, I think. The box was shaped like a bomb. Did you ever see that one? Yep. Pretty cool box. So I bought it. I was like, oh, that's a sick box. I'm going to buy this thing. And I had the cigar right out the gate, and it would kick you in the teeth, right? With the pepper, and it was just kind of more, it wasn't like it wasn't ready, but it was just more harsh, if that makes sense. And I still smoked a couple. I was like, okay, I'll let them sit. And a year later, I forgot about them. I pulled one out, pulled it out the cello, and it had some yellow in it. You twist it up, it's like, oh, wow, okay. And I fired it up, smooth. It took the rough edges off of it. It was smoother. It still had pepper and all that kind of stuff that some people don't like, but it was smooth. It didn't have the harshness to it before. It didn't sit on my palate in a rough way like it did beforehand. And so I'm like, okay. and it had the yellow and the cello. Some of the oils were releasing from that thing. So for me, sometimes there's cigars, and same with McAuliffe Black. I like a McAuliffe Black. I like a McAuliffe Black even better after 2 years. And the cello will be yellow because it's released some of those oils, which some people will say they don't want because you're releasing flavor. But yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think to a certain point, yeah, and many of us have talked about it where there's the push to get something on the shelf. It's just a little too early, and it just needs time for the tobaccos to just kind of marry and sit for a little bit while it's in that cello. And I think I've also heard that, it just could be from it could also be from poor storage as well. Losing the oils, for the humidity being too low and it's actually releasing the oils, cello's catching it. And, that's what's giving it appearance. So I would imagine when you go to actually experience that cigar, it's not going to be very good, or it's just going to be very bland, smoking a paper bag type of thing. So I have heard that as well.
That's the thing. And that's where it's like, where's the tipping point? Because if I take a cigar and I set it out and all the oils release from it this year, I'm not bringing that. You can't bring that back. It's done. You're not going to rehumidify and get any. So the oils, which the flavors are in oils, I get that. Yeah, you let it all go. You stored them not in the right way and you lose all that. Good luck. Just toss it. So I think some of it comes down to how are you storing your cigars, properly.
Yeah. And I know you've mentioned, you've talked with like Harpy on like vape shops. Sometimes they have a cigar and they kind of have some gems too. That's my daughter. There is one nearby. And this was probably a few months ago. I happened to take a gander in there. And I mean, just the humidity in there was just ridiculous. But I mean, this dude had old Opus, Angel Shares, Lost Cities. He had some CAO Cameroons with the original band. And it was just so tempting. But knowing that they've been sitting there that long in such a poor condition, I was like, man, I would take so much off your hands. But I mean, you can see it. There's no oil left on that wrapper. And I was like, man, I was super, super bummed. I passed by it actually earlier today. I had an appointment, and it's under new management. So I'm actually tempted to see what that means. Is it like a Jerome's Furniture going out of business, but you're still in business 10 years later, or are you really under new management? So I'm tempted to see what it looks like. But man, if it wasn't such a poorly humidified, I probably would have picked up so much from there. It was crazy.
It's a big deal, dude. I had a Plasencia Original Reserva, something like that. It's the white band, fair price cigars. I really enjoy those. Well, it's funny. Is Martin frozen on your end?
Yeah, he's got this.
Yeah. I love that.
He didn't pay his internet bill. It's all good.
Let me take a picture.
What a bum.
I end up getting
what a bum.
I end up getting some of those on a killer deal, and these things came, and they had age on them because yellow cello, and I was like, oh wow, okay, and I fired one up, and it was delicious. I love the original one. I'll buy them and smoke them fresh, and I really enjoy that cigar. However much age this had on it, the cello was super yellow. This thing was even better. So the whole yellow cello thing, it's funny. Like, people have different opinions on it, and some cigars can be better. And then I've had some with a lot of yellow on the cello where I'm like, there's not much to this thing. So was it too much oil released and it aged out? I don't know.
That's true.
Funny how it works.
And I mean, then there's also, you mentioned aged out, but it's also like, I remember talking to DJ about this. It's like, at what point are you leveled out, and then how much time before it actually starts dipping, losing the oils, it oxidizing, where it's just like, there's got to be a peak where that flavor is good for a period amount of time, but it ain't going to last 5-7 years. And to be honest, I know it's a totally different subject and I don't want to steer, but, the aging, or what we talked about, in chats, is holding on to celebrations, not knowing when that celebration is. By the time you get to it, like, oh, let me celebrate my daughter's graduation in 10 years. Is it going to be good in 10 years? Is it? I don't know.
I think.
Oh, you're back. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You paid your bill online. Is that what it was?
I don't know what the hell happened. I'm on.
It's because you're in the garage and it's probably cold as hell.
It's colder than a hooker's heart. Nah, man, I get your point. So with the because I had my first cigar was the vintage Toro, was the 20-year age cigar, and you could tell like how all the flavors mellowed out and everything marinated together, which actually created a great cigar. But La Aurora, where they stored the cigars, was in their big ass humidor. So obviously they had the proper conditions to store it like that, but they had it in the band or whatever paper that they put it in, and they had it stored like that without the cello. And I think for the cello is for the transportation from the factory. Actually helps protect the cigar, because there's been plenty of times where I dropped a cigar with the cello on it and it didn't crack. Whereas, I think we all done it. We get all excited about smoking, especially in the summertime when you're carrying shit out to your patio and you get your laptop and your iPad or whatever. And instead of dropping your iPad, you drop your cigar. You'd be like, fuck, I should have dropped my iPad. And it's cracked. You had your mind set on it. It's very similar to like when your wife tell you what's for dinner, then you get home and you're like, damn, meatloaf.
Ain't nothing wrong with a meatloaf, dog.
Earlier today, you said we were having Cuban steak. What happened?
When you got home and you got meatloaf, homie, that's what you get. Now do the dishes when you're done. No. But
hey, I do love the cello for protection of the cigar. Like, I have done that. Even just last week I did. I was coming out here to the tent and I threw a cigar in my pocket. Wasn't in cello, didn't come in it, and placed it in my pocket with nothing else. Well, I get doing stuff, ADHD kicked in, I forgot that one was in there. I go to put something else in my pocket, and I messed up the foot a little bit, but I put it in, and I heard crunch, and I'm like, oh, geez. I pulled the thing out, and I was like, come on. But so I just did this traveling humidor, and just got this traveling humidor back, and there was a cigar and there was an Andalusian bowl. Those aren't in cello. And just from being in there, I mean, it was in this humidor and they were all in there pretty good, but there's enough where they can move a little bit. So just with the box, they're throwing it around and all that. Towards the end of it, some of the wrapper got all messed up. And so whereas if it was in cello, which they don't come in cello, but protection factor for sure.
What up, Zeno?
There he is.
Oh, this fucking guy. So another thing.
Oh wait,
we're getting there. Dang, they done caught me for. Oops. I guess you can't type the F word in the chat. YouTube rejected your comment.
Yeah, I think it'll block it.
Hold on, I got something for it. There you go. I'll go through.
He can't see it anyway because it's on Facebook.
Oh, whatever then. So Zeno, but on the cello talk, this damn dog in his toys keeps finding. We hear about a lot of other brands. They actually freeze their cigars before importing them into the U.S. And obviously, if it's in cello, God forbid you ever get beetles. It kind of keeps them contained and not infecting your other cigars.
Yeah.
Versus being in no cello and you get a bad batch, you throw it in your humidor, you forget about it. Man, it's gonna be a bad day when you open that bad boy up. That's for sure. So, serves a good purpose. Keeps them all nice. Plus, obviously, when you're in a lounge too, you've got how many people going through the humidor, picking them up, licking on them, putting them next to their nose. They put their finger up their ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? The cello, it ain't on the cigar, it's on the cello. I mean, you still gonna catch pink eye, but just saying. Look at I'm going for a week and this is type of shit.
Hey, we need that unhinged.
Hey, man. I think we're doing pretty good. I mean, how many times did we talk about big booty Latinas with yellow cello? You know what I'm saying?
We just got to get the cigar stuff out the first half, and then the second half of the show is when we'll go off.
That's it. Then we let loose. Why Zeno's gonna hop on real quick when he's taking a shit or something in the bathroom.
Yeah.
At work. What's up, Zeno? Miss you. Love you.
With the cello and people like sniffing cello, so a buddy of mine, we went to, and he was pretty much brand new to cigars, right? Had one or two here or there over the years, was pretty much brand new. So, man, come on over. Yeah, let's have a cigar. First of all, when he first smoked, he's a cigarette smoker. He inhaled the first time, and I'm like, yeah, you don't inhale, bud. He learned his lesson there. So then we go to a lounge, right? And we're in the humidor, and he picks up a cigar with cello like this one. He's smelling it, and I said, I don't want to say his name just in case he's watching. He'll get mad at me anyways for telling the story. But he was like, oh, there's not much on this. I said, Sean. Oh, I just said his name. Crap. I said, anyway, he's not watching anyways. But I said, Sean, you can't smell it through the cello, bud. I said, cello breathes, but you're not going to smell it through there. And he's like, oh, yeah, good point. But then I pointed out, and this goes to cigar etiquette, you don't do that anyways. Let's say it was a naked cigar. You don't pick up a cigar and I've seen people do it, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not grabbing anything this dude touches. Just sniffing, right?
I think we've all seen it where it's just like, you really sniffing cello, my man.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes for you. Yeah.
That'd be like me going to Walmart or something and pick a box of macaroni and cheese up, and I'm smelling the box of mac and cheese. I'm like, man, this is gonna be some good macaroni and cheese.
Right? Like, dang, this is extra cheesy.
Yeah. I always tell people to pop it out, pause. But pop it out.
Hey,
we're not at the halfway mark yet.
We're only at 50 minutes, Martin. Hold on, 10 more minutes.
But yeah, I always tell people, pop it out, smell the tip, the foot. My bad.
Then put it back in the cello.
If it's something I handed to him, if it's my cigar, yeah. But I mean, like you said, at a lounge, I rarely, if I touch it, I buy it. So that's why I don't touch anything unless I know I'm gonna buy it.
Did he tell you to do that, man? What do you got? Did he say, here, smell the foot on this and then put it back, man? So question, if you come up on two cigars, I mean, it could be any cigar. Are you going the one with yellow cello or the one in just normal clear cello? Which one are you more inclined to purchase?
The H1.
I'm purchasing clear.
I'm purchasing both. You pick both. Why not, right? I mean,
if I'm looking at a cigar and it's a cigar that I've had and I know that with age on it, it's better. And I look in there and I'm like, ooh, you got some aged ones because you can see there's some yellow on the cello, and I know it's going to be better. I'm grabbing that one. If not, I'll probably grab both. Like, ooh, let me try one fresh, and let me try one that's got some age on it.
Yeah. You think someone new to cigars, like someone's name we won't mention,
Sean.
I think Sean. Sorry, Sean. I would think they'd be more inclined to buy the clear cello because they're not in the know that they may think, oh, that cigar is bad. Like,
it's dirty.
Exactly. It's dirty. It's been old. I think someone new would be more inclined to buy the clear cello. So, just a question that was on my mind.
That's a good point.
All right. That's good.
Of course, if you get a cigar and you know it's not aged and it's got some funny colors on the cello, it's a different conversation.
Right.
Dude, this is wild to me because, again, Zeno, when he mentioned this, I didn't know. And I was like, what? And this just happened to come back to me in this traveling humidor thing, right? And I remember opening it up, going through it, and I was like, holy crap, I got one of those cigars Zeno was talking about. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, wow.
Right? Dude, And even speaking as Zeno's point, I had mentioned it earlier. With like us, we follow a lot of brands and everything like that. But literally, I'm seeing cigars being rolled in the factory, and the roller's hands just being discolored, like dark. And I'm like, what the heck? Like super wet. And I'm like, no. And then, of course, Zeno mentioned, and we dove into it. And I'm like, oh man, he didn't ruin cigars for me, but you can definitely, there's a distinct flavor or taste, or when it's just super just linear throughout the whole thing. Sometimes you can kind of point that direction to what it is. And I'm like, I'll mess with them. I'm like, man, you ruined cigars for me. Like, yeah. I'll fire one up and I'm like, yep. I still enjoy them. I'm like Matt. I still like my broadleaves, my San Andreas, my, whether it's Connecticut or Pennsylvania. I still like those pepper bombs, those kicks in the teeth. But definitely, these have opened me up to more of the lighter shades, the Connecticut's and all that stuff. So, like to say, I'm on the same ballpark as Matt right now, where we're just playing in all levels of the field as far as where rappers go and all that. And dude, it's gonna be fun. As soon as you get onto some other stuff, you're like, man, I've been kind of missing out on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because for me, those pepper bombs ruin your palate.
They do not. Stop being a bitch.
Well, let me tell you something, Martin. To Martin's point, so Ferriotego, I love Ferriotego now. I gave them my brand of the year, whatever, who cares? But like, I love Ferriotego cigars. But when I first had one, I didn't get it. But I would smoke a Warhead X, a whatever, something that's going to be really heavy, lots of pepper. I'd smoke it in the morning, and then come noontime, it would, let me fire up this 23 Elegancia. I'd be like, and it not that it was a bad cigar, but I was like, I don't get it. I don't get the hype behind where these guys saying it has all these notes and these flavors and these nuances. I don't get much out of this. So I didn't do it. Well, Cigar Carpenter Mike, we met up one time, swapped some cigars, and he was like, hey, don't be smoking your big, bold, peppery cigars before you smoke any of this stuff I'm giving you. He said, just trust me. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And again, I was 6 months into smoking cigars. I don't know any better. So I was like, all right, cool. So I remember smoking one on a fresh pallet, and whatever it was, I don't remember the cigar, but I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Well, then I revisited Ferriotego, specifically the 23 Elegancia. And I was like, I'll just get it again. Let me try it. So again, before smoking a pepper bomb, I smoked that, and then I got it. I was like, oh, okay. If I'm smoking a Warhead X, I don't mind those. But if 15 minutes later, it's like, oh, I got time for another cigar, and I fire up a Connecticut, a more nuanced cigar, I won't get a lot of stuff in it. But so now for me, it's just about, if I know I'm going to smoke a cigar that's going to be a big, bold, peppery cigar, I'll make sure to do that as my last cigar of the day. Or if I'm only going to have one cigar of the day, no big deal, So for me, it's become kind of a time and place for certain cigars, I won't just grab whatever. It's like, okay, wait, am I going to smoke this Martinique later on today? Okay, I need to be careful of what I smoke. If I'm going to smoke a couple cigars earlier in the day, I got to be a little careful. But
yeah,
you guys want to answer the chat or no?
Let's see. New Era Panda. That's my boy. As a person with an interest to try a cigar, what would each of you recommend? Man. So with that question, when it comes towards me, I always kind of ask, and I know we've talked about it, Martin, like, what types of foods are you into? You into spicy food? You into here? That'll kind of drive the direction of where we would go. But there's such a vast majority. I know we just got done talking about Ferriotego. When questions like this come, I try to recommend things that everybody can get their hands on. So usually something CI is getting, something they know they can get in, like in a local B&M. Man, I would definitely try and go. I would probably do something with either a Connecticut or a San Andreas. To be honest, San Andreas. Who would I go with though? I've always started everybody with a Perdomo champagne. if you can get those. They should be available everywhere. And then I tend, if they tell me they're spicy, I do an AJ New World. I think those are my two safe bets. And from depending on how they feel about those, I can go in a different direction. If they like a little bit bolder, I'll direct them towards like a Black Label trading company. They do great things. They've got, their Santa Muerte is awesome. I don't know if you've ever had that one. It's got that white band. It's got like, I believe it has a gravestone with a skull. I was a little skeptical reading the blend, but man, that was such a good cigar. And the Corona Gorda size, perfect size. Shoot. Can't go wrong with like a Foundation. They're a little bit bolder, more on the broadleaf side, but I mean, QA wise, you're going to get consistency every single time. I mean, Nick Melillo was just great at what he does. And even their Charter Oak stuff, if you don't want to spend $15 on a Tabernacle, dude, the Charter Oak stuff is good. Solid bangers for what are they going for now? Like $8, $10 maybe for the Charter Oak out of the Connecticut. I think there's a Habano in there. Super good. And then of course you want to elevate Broncano, baby.
Absolutely.
Broncano Blue. And the only reason I say blue is because I haven't had the honor to try the ruby yet, even though I've got an entire box sitting there. We'll get there, Mark. Yeah, we're halfway there.
Halfway, perfect. I usually keep it simple. I mean, I don't really recommend a brand, but I mean, everybody always tells somebody new to go to a Connecticut, but I mean, I always recommend like a Habano or a light brown wrapper, or just that not the dark chocolate wrapper, just like the in between, like a brown wrapper, maybe a Dominican. As if if they have a Dominican cigar that's like a light brown or that medium brown wrapper, and I think from there that gives somebody a good direction of which way they want to go, if they want to go up or down. But me personally, I don't have like if you're a new cigar smoker, I recommend buying any Opus X, and you'll be fine.
Don't do that.
You'll be fine for his overall smoking experience, because it's going to be a medium body, and you're right there. I don't know about nicotine content, but as far as overall flavor,
save your money and get a Don Carlos if you're going to go that.
Ooh, yeah,
that's
a good choice.
The better tobaccos in the Don Carlos than the Opus.
Actually, is it the Casa? It's a Fuente cigar. Yeah, those are great, man. I think they're right around what, 15, 16.
I think those are the Casa Fuentes.
Yeah, Casa Fuente. Yeah, they're right around there.
Those are good.
Even the Don Carlos are in that range, right?
I think most popular Don Carlos too. I mean, I think that's sitting around like, you can catch them for like $13. Yep. On a sale. And those, I mean, solid. Probably still my favorite. Again, haven't tried an Opus, so I don't know what you're talking about. But just from what I know the better tobacco goes into the Don Carlos.
I just know when I started smoking again, man, that's what I bought was Opus. I was like, fuck it, let me just go get right to the hype. And they were great. I mean, I bought a 5-pack. They had a box, like $120, and it was a great experience. I haven't had it since, but unless somebody it was gifted to me, maybe, but otherwise than that. But yeah,
I was just going to expand on Sal's comment with, hey, if you like spicy, go with an AJ New World. I'll expand on that and say, if you like spicy and want to go with AJ the New World, find a sampler pack that has the Oscuro, that has the Cameroon, that has the Dorado in it, so you can try a few from the New World line. And I'm one, it's like, try a lot of different kind of stuff, if you don't like spicy, there is Somme, the BDX Blanc I like. Lampert does really good stuff and a fair price. And I was going to say too, Broncano cigars are good because it's not a $20 cigar. It's going to be a fair price cigar. You're going to get a good quality cigar, and it's going to be smooth. Not going to have a bunch of pepper and all that if you don't like pepper. And just keep in mind, if you're new to cigars, don't do what I used to do and smoke a really peppery, heavy cigar, and then right after that, try that lighter, more nuanced Connecticut. You know, I'll recommend to you a Martinique on the Connecticut side, but don't smoke that after a New World, the Red Band, the original, the Red Band, the New World Oscuro or whatever. Don't smoke a Martinique after that one, because you're not going to get what it's trying to give you. And I love sampler packs. This is why I'm a big fan of mystery sampler packs that a lot of shops have. You know, Luxury, they got one, and you always get your money's worth. Whatever you pay for it, the MSRP of those cigars are always going to be about $20 over that. So you're going to be saving some money anyways on those 4 to 6 cigars, depending on what comes that month. And it's a great way to just try different stuff as well. So
yeah, 100%. Like the more you dive into them, there's so many online shops that offer those variety packs or sampler packs or monthly, cigar of the month clubs. I mentioned earlier, like the Oak Glen. I jumped on when they launched their variety pack, because before it was, one cigar of the month and it was 5 of the same cigar, or you can double it for savings and get 10 of the same cigar. I'm like, oh, not really. But then I wanted something different from like Corona and Holtz and all these other, other big name shops. So an OGT kind of tends to be on the boutique side, and on the heavier side. Matt, I think you'd like them too. They kind of lean heavy on like the Black Label, Crown Heads. Who else? The most recent one was like, I've never had them, Cigar Clowns. They've got 2 new test blends, and so they sent out a variety pack of like the new blends, and they're having like the people that are subscribed to the OGT kind of vote on them to see which one they're going to put into production. Paul Stulak stuff. I know Martin just recently had someone who has a Paul Stulak deal, and you ain't fond of him, but I love the Paul Stulak stuff. I never would have heard of him if it wasn't for them. And I mean, great stuff. But that's how you kind of find little hidden gems, with sampler packs, or if you subscribe to a Cigar of the Month Club, you find some pretty cool stuff that kind of comes out. Or that's how I got the Crown Heads Ali. That's how I got the Broadway. So there's tons and tons of options. But like Matt said, smoke everything. Some aren't going to hit. Some just aren't. You got to be okay with that and be like, hey, I tried it. Cool. Also keep in mind that you're developing a palate. So
it'll change.
And over the years, it's going to change.
And I know for me, when I started smoking cigars again, I did order a shit ton of sampler packs, and and with the sampler packs, that's what made me determine that that gave my biases towards Nicaraguan tobacco, was because of the sampler packs. The reason why I don't like a Ligero heavy cigar with fucking peppers. So
and that's what's great, is you figured that out with trying all the different stuff, and you didn't just say, oh man, I don't like these cigars. Is this what cigars are? This is crazy. There's cigars out there for everybody, So if somebody's new to cigars, it's like, hey, if you get a few and it's like, I don't like this, they're all different. For the most
because my original go-to cigar in the beginning was the Oliva, the 35th. The anniversary. I used to love that cigar. And as my palate developed, I went away from it. I don't think I had it in over 3 years, and that was my go-to. Even the I'm gonna say it wrong as shit. The Partagas.
Partagas. Yeah.
Partagas, black. That was, oh man, that fucking thing, man. To me, it tastes just like a fucking Opus X. I don't care what anybody says. The Partagas black, and that was the cigar I used to love. But again, that was on the heavier side, and I bought a box of them shits. I enjoyed it, but will I go back to it? Probably not.
Right, and because your palate's changed, right?
Yep.
And it's going to be that way. Like if I think about it personally, heavy on the San Andreas, heavy on the broadleaf, and then that's over the course of I've been doing the whole media YouTube thing for a year, but been smoking prior to that, so it's been heavy on that side. And then now 4 or 5 years now, it's like, all right, I'm enjoying the Connecticut side, the nuances that those are bringing. You know, not so much heavy, something you can enjoy at any time of the day, because you know not everybody can wake up and smoke a double Ajero first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee. Like, don't do that. That's for real. Don't do that on an empty stomach. But then there are some that can do that. You know, DJ wakes up 5 and 4 in the morning, cup of coffee, and smokes a Def Ajero, Matt's favorite cigar.
I like Definition cigars. That one, I've only had the one, and that one wasn't for me.
Dude, I smoked that one when I was feeling sick. Dude, cleared me right up. I was catching a cold, and I was told by a couple people, smoke a cigar. Something about the nicotine helps. I'm like, there's no way. Why would I smoke a cigar and make it worse? My body's trying to heal. And I was just stuffed up, clogged up, smoked the Def Ajero, and I was like 2 days and it was done. Cleared up. I'm like, was that just coinky dink, or is there some truth to that?
Yeah.
Pause.
So I'm like, all right. Pay your bill, bro. Pay your bill, dog. Oh, yeah, this fucking guy.
That was you, man.
That wasn't me, man. Can a cigar be paired with certain types of alcohol? Who got opinion? So I know. I don't know. I know you can probably answer it, Matt, but I know, alcohol.
I'll talk about the non-alcoholic stuff. You want to talk about the drinks? I'll talk about the non.
So since
Martin,
I'm gonna be short,
you're more of a drink out of us three right now.
I'm gonna be short with it. There's nothing. I don't pair with anything. I'm not well educated on that, and I can actually care less if I paired it with. If I like vodka, so if I pair something, it's gonna be with vodka and maybe with coffee. That's probably about the only pairing. Maybe Irish whiskey is something like that. But as far as personally, I don't pair with anything because, I don't know. I just don't.
So you can most certainly pair cigars with an alcohol, and I think it's all preference. But you kind of want to. I don't know. I think for like the lighter stuff, and I'm not a wine drinker, but I know a lot of like the lighter shades, the Connecticut's, maybe even the Corojos or the Habanos. Some pair with wine, but most definitely bourbon and whiskey seem to be the most popular to be paired with cigars. Rye whiskeys, I've heard. Dude, this dog is killing me. Rye whiskeys. Most definitely, and I think it's more of a trial and error thing. I've smoked like a cigar. I smoked a Crown Heads La Carême, which is a broadleaf, and I've had an old fashioned with it. Dude, paired perfectly. It was great. It was almost like a dessert with an old fashioned. When I was drinking, old fashions were my thing. I rarely strayed away. But that's the most I've got. I'm not super knowledgeable on that. I've, rarely drink anymore. If you talk to me back in my heyday, and Panda will get the reference, back in my ABRB days, when I was touring, I wasn't smoking cigars, but I was drinking heavy. So I traded one for the other. I think I'm on the better end of the stick, to be honest. But Matt, I know I've recently got into non-alcoholic. There is a brand that my buddy showed me, and it has to do with IPA. I think it's called Athletic Brewing. I don't know if you're an IPA guy. Literally cannot taste the difference. I was like, wow, 0 alcohol. He came down, he flew down and visited me, and I took him to Cigars International. I fed him with Padron, and he was like, dude, I'm off the wagon. I'm like, cool, I'll join up with you. He showed me this Athletic Brewing Company, non-alcoholic IPA. I swear, I was like, man, you can't tell me there's no
non-alcoholic. It's like jerking off without busting a nut. I going to town on yourself and be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna nut.
The soundboard.
Martin, I'll do it. But that's non-alcoholic. really good. But I'll let you speak on the non-alcoholic stuff. I just recently saw that they have non-alcoholic bourbon, I think.
Oh yeah, they got non-alcoholic wines and whatever. It's a big market for it now. But now, as far as pairings go, so I'm like Martin. I'm not a pairing guy. Like especially if I'm having a cigar for a first time. I don't. Now blenders will use coffee. So Michael Herklots, I didn't know this, but just regular old black coffee is a palate cleanser. So that's why a lot of blenders will have just black coffee. So sometimes I'll have black coffee, but I'm one, especially with a brand new cigar. I want to smoke that cigar and get what that cigar is giving me versus mixing it with a Pepsi or a root beer and all that. Because the way I see it, if I'm drinking a root beer, those flavors are going to coat my palate, and then I'm going to smoke the cigar, and all of a sudden, oh, it's got some nice sweetness to it. Well, is it that, or is it the high fructose corn syrup that I just drank? You know. So for me, if I'm doing a cigar for the first time, and a lot of times I just don't have anything. I have a cherry Pepsi with me now just because I felt like it, but for no reason. But the alcohol pairings, a lot of people like really get into that and like deep dive into that. Oh, this specific whiskey, this brand and all that is perfect with this cigar. And hey, at the end of the day, you're the one spending your money on the cigar. Smoke it how you want to, you know? But for me, I'm not big into pairings. But if I do pair it, there are some cigars like that LFD Double Lajero. It's perfect with a black coffee or a coffee with creamer. Espinosa Crema, it's their Connecticut. That goes great with a coffee with creamer. And also root beer, I found if I want to have a pairing, does root beer cream soda actually go take a sip. Sometimes there's cigars where, especially if I've already had it and I know what I'm getting from it, where it just kind of complements the sweetness, kind of elevates it a little bit, you know. But right out the gate, though, I just like to smoke the cigar, and most of the time, I don't have anything. I might have a water for if my mouth's palate's getting dry, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not big into pairings. But also, there's some of these craft sodas, Alban, it's a weird name, Albana or something like that. But they have made sodas. They have 6 different kinds that they've blended the sodas, I guess, to pair with cigars. And certain ones are for, oh, do this one with a Maduro or whatever. Albina, Albano, something like that. So they actually have some craft sodas that are for pairing with cigars, which is kind of interesting. So
that's interesting. I will mention something that's slept on, and I mentioned it in a few of my reviews. Chai tea, hot or iced. Coffee, I think pairs well with any cigar you're going with. Coffee with a cream. I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer. Again, it also serves as a palate cleanser too, which is cool. But a chai tea, I've had it both iced and hot. Dude, I think that's slept on. That, and for me, ginger ale. I don't know if you've ever had like a ginger ale with a cigar, but it, like you're saying, like with your cherry Coke, you'll taste that darker caramel. It'll kind of give that flavor to the cigar that may not be particularly part of the cigar, but it enhances or it makes the experience more enjoyable. But yeah, chai tea, man. If you haven't had it,
that's interesting. I love chai tea. I'll have to try it with a cigar.
I've
had some cigars. Have you guys ever had cigars where you're like, you get a couple of them, you try one, you're like, this one needs a pairing. Like, I've had some where I'm like, okay, when I smoke this again, I've got to have a root beer to add some sweetness or whatever. And
I've never done it for seedless, but there's definitely been cigars that dry out my mouth. Or it's just like they just, for whatever reason, I've also had the opposite. I've had cigars where I just salivate. And usually I like those ones. They kind of have that, for me, obviously being in Texas, it's got that umami, meaty, savory. Like I'll actually like salivate. But then I've also had one where it's almost like a dryness. And so I need something to kind of keep moisture in my mouth. So you will notice that as you go on your cigar journey, different cigars will kind of smoke differently, not only flavor wise, but it may dry your mouth out. I'm not sure what that accounts to though. I don't know if that's just cigar,
I know
who knows? The
San Andre, they actually dries your mouth out. But just to circle back to your point, I think I think I know. I mean, you cannot go wrong with fuck, lost my train of thought. But you can't go wrong with an old fashioned. I mean, either way, I'm not a rye whiskey fan, but usually if it's a bourbon or something that's on the sweeter side, I think with any cigar, regardless spicy or Connecticut or whatever, I mean, with the old fashioned is probably like the best choice to have, because it's gonna actually, it may mellow out the cigar a little bit, helps your palate, but that's the route I would take. If you absolutely gotta have something to drink with it, would be like a bourbon or like an old fashioned.
I'd agree with that. I would say I've had several different cigars with an old fashioned. I've never had one that completely changed and made it an off-putting, flavor and experience. I've never had that. The only thing that maybe it could have is, obviously with the cigar like yours, there's not a ton of spice, but the old fashioned will give it a little bit of a spice to it. But again, doesn't take away from the cigar, doesn't, make it less enjoyable. It actually kind of enhances it. So like Matt was saying, a lot of us that kind of do reviews try to keep it pure, and at least for a good portion of it, just let it be the cigar and the tobaccos. And then, some of us that review, they do the pairings. That's their thing. Honestly, Panda, you need to check out our boy Cigar Scope. He's really big on cigars and pairings as well. And I'll drop Spoken Cigars with Sosa. He is actually very, very knowledgeable as far as pairings with cigars. I believe he owns a bar. I forget.
He runs a Ashton distillery. He runs that.
Okay, there you go. So he's actually super knowledgeable. I would reach out to both those dudes.
And get into the groups, if you're new to cigars or looking to get into them, the Facebook group, the Discord groups. I prefer Discord over the Facebook groups, but like, there's
still don't know how to work that thing.
Discord, I know. I can fucking get lost each time, man. I'm like, fuck.
There's a chat room for the chat room. That the chat room you're in, but if you're not in that chat room, you got to go to this chat room.
The Discord groups, depending on how whoever started it set it up, can get confusing. But just know that you can like mute. First time I got into a Discord group, I was like, I'm getting notifications but you can mute the different channels and all that. And some groups are simple to the point. Here's for text chatting, here's for video chatting, and that's it. But into some different groups, that is really what really broadened my horizons and really got me to deep dive into cigars and learning about stuff, is just in these different groups,
100%. And you can consider it almost like a virtual lounge at times. There's rooms where, depending on the group that you're in, there could be, one dude or 20 dudes kind of in the virtual room at the same time, enjoying a cigar, doing what we do, talk shit, talking about cigars. Or there's groups that actually, you can raise the question, hey, I'm smoking this. What would you guys pair it with? You will have so many different recommendations. And some groups, like we were mentioning, there'll probably be a chat room with, cigar pairings. I know a lot of groups have like outside of cigars, like, oh, what's for dinner? What are you eating? And, people posting different things. And that's also an avenue. So I'm still trying to figure out Discord. Again, I'm not super active on it just because of my status, but that's a great way to interact virtually. And there's just a wealth of knowledge out there, man. Wealth of knowledge.
And if you get into a group and you're just like, this one ain't for me, just all you gotta do is leave server. Boom, next.
Right, and then everybody sees so and so has left. Everybody.
Well, and
what'd you do?
Something. I'm in a smaller group and a dude left and nobody even knew it. They were like, "Hey, what happened to so and so?" It's like, "What?" I go and look at the list and I was like, "It didn't even announce it." But yeah, most of them it'll announce it and people are like, ugh, make stupid comments and whatever.
Everybody starts talking shit, all in fun.
But if you didn't like the group anyways, who cares? Just go.
Right? I'm like a bunch of dude guys. Who the fuck wants to be in a group with style? Fuck that guy.
Gotta go.
There you go, Panda. Help a brother out.
I'm on all sorts of Discords, even outside of cigar stuff.
I haven't found anything because usually I think Discord you have to be invited, right?
Not all. So like if you wanted to be in a Discord for, I don't know, a bread Discord, you go to Google and type something in or go to Chat GPT, it'll pull stuff up, and there's a lot that you don't have to have an invite. You got to have a link.
Yeah.
But there's some where they have a website or on their IG or their YouTube or whatever. They just have the link here. Hey, click here to join my Discord. I'm on one that's for HVAC stuff. And I found it looking up heating and air conditioning HVAC Discords. And I found this one, and it was, clicked it, joined in, muted all the stuff I didn't care about, and kept the rest open. So that's why I like Discord, because it's like, at first I thought, like, oh, is this just for cigars? But then I'm like, oh, no, this is for all sorts of stuff and different hobbies and everything.
No. Well, I'll be right back, y'all.
Thank you for the warning. Wait. Oh, he's gone. All right, now we can say we really want to say he's out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, Panda, thanks for popping in. I think you were on Apes YouTube.
Nice. Nice.
But back to your point, back to the hello, Hope. It's my aunt.
Hello.
But back to the cello. Pull it out, man. Not pause.
So this is a Padron Family Reserve 1964 in the cello right now. Obviously it's in the cello, but look, we're starting to get some maroon color. I haven't taken this thing out. I saw this, sent you guys the picture, and I was like, holy crap. So take the cigar. I'll show the cello in a second. So here's the, oops, sorry. Here's the cigar. Good cigar. I like this cigar. Let me set it down so I don't drop it and crack it. I don't know if it really come across on the camera, but it's like a maroon color.
You can see it. Yeah. And was that like that originally, or?
So I don't know who put this in here. So I wasn't able to figure out yet before the show who put it in here to be able to inquire about, like, how old is this? But I can tell you, I've had old cigars with cello that does look like this, but it doesn't look maroon. It's brown. This is like maroon. Well, wrap it up like this. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Again, I don't know how old this cigar is, but to have that much oil loss, like, me being newer, like, I don't know, but I'm imagining this would have to be pretty old for all that. Again, there's the cigar, the Padron.
How does the foot smell?
I don't really notice anything. Oh man, I would need another one
to compare.
That wasn't like this to compare. But I don't know how old this is. So is this what was talked about the other day? Maybe, but probably, because like I said, it's like a maroon color. I've never seen. Again, I'm newer, so somebody might be like, "Oh no, I've had all these, and they turn that color after a year." Maybe. I don't think so.
It'd be interesting to see what Zeno says about that.
Yeah. So crazy. It's just crazy this happened to show up right after it was talked about. I was like, holy crap, I just got one. So
yeah,
I'm gonna still we'll circle back on. I'll let you guys know so you can let everybody know. I'm gonna figure out, I'll be able to figure out who put this in here and find out the age on it. I'm willing to bet it's not age, man. It's probably one of those weird cigars. So
I know in the beginning when I started this journey again, smoking cigars or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I did try to seek out whenever I saw like a cello that was a darker color at even like at random places, liquor stores or whatever. I would buy them. And I think to your point, what you stated earlier, like when I would smoke them, and I wouldn't get any flavor out of it. I'm like, man, this fucking aged cigar tastes like shit. And, and I would, be all excited about, having an aged cigar, and it could be the way they kept it in the humidor. But initially I'm thinking like, hey, I'm getting some aged shit. But now that's why earlier I stated, like, if I see a clear wrapper or somewhat slightly aged looking wrapper, I'm going with the clear, because I know exactly what I'm getting.
I would almost rather prefer to age my own.
Exactly.
Because you're going to get all that. Well, this one, I don't know that this one's oil transfer, but you're going to get an aged cigar with oil transfer. But how was this cigar kept over the past 10 years? So just am I seeing some oil, and is most of the oil gone and now the wrapper's just nothing? Who knows? But, so with these McAuliffe Blacks, for example, I had one that was aged, and I know I like them better. I like them fine out the gate, but like I know I like them better after a year or two. So I'd got some, and I have a humidor downstairs in the basement that's specifically for cigars I either want to age or cigars I don't really care for, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I'll give them to somebody eventually. I'll just get them out of my main humidor. But like that's where I'll put stuff. If I get a box of something, and it's like, man, aging might do this thing well, I'll take 5 or 6 out and just throw them downstairs and forget about them, Let me age them, because I know my conditions. Keep it at 58% and about 62 degrees. I know my conditions, good to go.
Keep it at 58. Keep my shit at 60, between right around 65 to 69.
I keep 58% Bovedas in my stuff, and so I run 60 to 62. They're sealed pretty good, so it's 60 to 62. Some cigars will get down to the 58. I don't know, no rhyme or reason to it, I guess, but most of the cigars I got in all my humidors with the 58s, they're usually 60 to 62. And for me, I found that's the sweet spot of where I like to smoke most of them at. And so when I keep them at that, I can just grab it, cut it, and I'm good to go, which is why I do that. What's funny is I have found some cigars where I'm like, yeah, man, everybody's talking about they get this and this from it. I didn't get any of that. So I've taken some cigars and like, all right, let me put them in a smaller humidor with a 65 or a 68. Let me get the RH up. Oh, okay. They just had it at a little bit higher humidity is why they were getting whatever out of the cigar. So and some cigars I do like at a little higher humidity, but most of them I'm that 60, 62 range. So I just keep them there. So then I don't have to like dry box or any of that. I can just grab it and smoke it.
Yeah, being that I'm in Wisconsin, I'm surprised you do that in Minnesota. That 60, I found out that for me, I found that 69 is like perfect for as lighting. I rarely dry box. Whatever I'm smoking, I just look in there and like, first off, I don't keep that many cigars on hand anyway. Secondly, I'm just grabbing what's in there. So I don't plan on, like, there's no plan on what I'm gonna smoke that day or at that time.
Yeah, that's the thing, find the humidity, the RH that you like and works best for you. And I say just keep it there. And other people have different thoughts. Other people are like, no, I like to keep it higher to keep all the oils, whatever. And then I'll dry box to bring it down to the RH that I enjoy smoking at. But I just keep it where I like it.
Yeah,
so I can just grab anything at any time.
With chat or AI, 65 is where they suggest to keep everything at. But again, I mean, like I said, I found out that for me, 69 gives me the best flavor from where I like everything to be at. And I haven't.
I bet it is.
Whoa, pause.
I bet it is.
For the only reason why I'm relighting this one, because I'm in the fucking garage, but when it's above 50 degrees outside, I rarely relight a cigar ever. Especially since I started using Boveda. When I was trying to use the distilled water and gels and all that shit, man, everything burnt like shit.
Too much fluctuation with those for me. I mean, that's what we had until I discovered Boveda as well. Like I was using the, distilled water, the gels or the jars, and then I think it was Cigar that had a jar, but it split up into 4 corners type thing. I mean, but with Boveda, it's just brainless, you know. Only thing with Boveda is that. What happened?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the only thing with Boveda is like, I think Boveda gives like suggestion like, oh, this is for like a 100 cigar humidor, but typically I've got to put 2. So, like with mine, I've got where's it at? I've got that big old Herf box, and I keep like 320 gram ones, and then I put 2 in the need one that I have, and then I've got 1 on another one. I've got 3 of them, but I just do the 320 ones. One, they just last longer,
like 6 to 7 months.
I think almost even longer, depending on how big it is. Like my smaller one, my desktop one, I've got a 320 in there, and it'll last me at least a year because I can only hold maybe 12, 15 cigars in that thing on my desktop one. But then the cooler door, that holds almost 500. So I've got 3. And if I see it dropping, I'll do 4. And then in the need one, which is the smallest one, I've got 2 in there. It says 1, but I put 2 just in case.
Yeah, you can't over humidify.
Yeah.
So Matt said he keeps his cigars at 58.
I do.
I mean, at that point, they're ready to smoke.
I do 58% Bovedas, and so they run typically 60 to 62.
Yeah, I do 62. They're typically at about 63, 65.
There you go. I like that too.
So 62 is like perfect because I can just pull them out and smoke them. Or if I know a particular cigar does better with what do you call it? Dry boxing. It just gets there a little bit quicker. Maybe a day in advance. If I know I really want to smoke it, I'll throw it in there. It's ready by the next day.
Well, there's that one cigar, one I can think that does better at a lower RH is the SSL cigar.
Really?
Smokers Legion cigar.
So I've done it at 62 and it smoked great. But Tony did mention it does better.
He even mentioned, and he got that from feedback as people were smoking it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got some to try them out, I didn't even play around with like. I put it in its own thing with a 58 to just drive it on down to make sure I got down to 58. And I was like, okay, this ain't too bad. But supposedly if you have that one at a higher pushing 70, 68, 70, there was some people, I guess, that were like, oh, it's not that good at the higher RH, it's good at a lower RH. And that's what's funny about cigars. For the most part, the cigars I have, my daily drivers, that 60, 62, I'm happy with it. But there are some cigars where it's like, nah, you want it a little bit lower or you want it higher. Just
with the Cuban cigars, you definitely want those lower. The ones that I have maybe 3. I keep those separately from everything else just because.
Oh, gotcha.
I have 2 Cubans. I keep them with my regular ones. They're in their own. Like they're in the humidor, but I have them in their own cellophane, but I still keep those at 62, 65. Like, I don't know. I haven't dove into that world. I know there's a lot more people and a lot more knowledgeable, but I keep 62, 65. And then the one that I did smoke, I dry box and it smoked great. So for me, kind of in general, I'll probably dry box a Cuban to get it to around Matt's 58, 59. So.
Damn, Zeno, you're pale tonight. Yeah, we didn't get any BBL mentions tonight either. I mean, kind of sad about that.
The substitute teacher had to come in.
Don't be hating, Peter. He's here somewhere.
He was here.
He was in the chat. He'll be back though. I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about
where we at, Martin?
130, 140.
Yeah, Cubans. I've only got 2. I've got a Por Laranaga, and then I've got a Ramon Ayones. Both gifted to me. I did smoke one Ramon Ayones on, I forgot what, that thing was great. Solid cigar. So we're talking about lower RH. But yeah, Go ahead with the pour. What are you crushing at?
I'll just tell you the pour, however you say that. I always say it wrong every time.
Yeah.
It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be gasoline.
Ooh.
There's no. So a buddy of mine, he's a Cuban guy. He's all anything you want to know about Cubans, he knows. He'd sent me some, and he told me, he goes, "Hey, this is either going to be good or gas, one of the two." Like, and I smoked it, and I was like, "This is very fumey." Like this is. So he sent me another one.
Not the good gas.
He was like, "Try this one. This has a little bit more age on it. This one should be good to go." And it's one of my favorite Cubans.
Really?
I was like, "This is really good." So
yeah. All right. So far, the Ramon Allones is solid. I don't know if you've had one of those yet. That was solid, and that was in the. I guess it was like a Corona Gorda size, but I've also got the Robusto. Both the ones that I have now are in Robusto.
Nice.
So,
nice.
But another cigar that I know likes to be in the lower RH is actually the Tampa Smokers from JC Newman. One, there is so much tobacco roll in that thing; it is stupid tight. You're probably staring at it. That's why you had to take the day off.
That's why he called in sick for this episode. Yeah, he was like, I need time, boys.
He handicapped himself after that one. But yeah, the Tampa Smokers from JC Newman, again, super tight roll. And so, drying them out, create a little more airflow. But I hit that thing with whatchamacallit, draw enhancer. I mean, it did nothing. I let it dry out, smoked great.
And a lot of times with the RH, it's kind of people's personal preference. So I did a thing with Somm and Small Batch where we all ordered this pack, the Somm BDX Blanc, and I didn't realize we were all smoking it together on the Zoom thing, so I wasn't prepared. But smoked them all, and it was at 65, 68, and then I think 72, something like that. So 3 in their own packages with their own Bovedas, to be able to have them at 3 different RHs, and we smoked them all like at the same time, and there was differences between those RHs. So a lot of times with RH2, I think it comes down to somebody's personal preference on an RH with a cigar, because all all 3 BDX Blancs at all different, they were all good, but you could tell the difference in all 3 cigars with those different RHs. It was kind of a trip. It was a fun little experiment.
I saw that they did that. I thought that was actually pretty cool. I thought that was actually pretty cool. What does Broncano smoke best at, Martin?
65.
Okay. I think I smoked the original silver at 62, and it was great.
Like the Ruby, I would smoke that right around like the lower 60s. The Royal, probably right that mid range. And the silver, maybe slightly higher, just because, like I said, the San Andre dries your mouth out. I don't know, but I just know for the Royal and the Ruby definitely smoke at a lower RH because it's an oily wrapper, and anyway, I don't know where I'm going with it, but just smoke at a lower RH.
I didn't get that from the silver. I smoked at a 62, which I guess you would say midway point. Maybe I'll try it at a 65 if I can get it there, and see what the difference. I would expect a subtle change, but I don't think there will be much on that.
Both the Ruby Red and the Royal Blue. I had them at the shop during the event, and I don't know what that shop keeps it at, but more than likely 68 to 70. Shops always tend to have theirs higher than like I keep mine. And I enjoyed them at that. Whatever the shop keeps it at. That's why I bought a box. Because I was like, I'll just buy a few of each. Martin's here, get to meet him and stuff. And smoked both of them while I was there. And I was like, oh shit, all right, we'll get it. Now the others I've smoked at my RH, they've been like 62, and enjoyed them at that too. So
same experience. I know. Most shops usually keep it around that 69. Right in there, from what I've seen, I've been at some shops and you're like, fucking fog lights in here. fog lamps. It's so misty in there. I don't know.
You can see the mist coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my local shops. But I mean, they're usually sitting around 68. Everyone that I picked up, I actually took my cigar meter. I forgot what it's called. One of those thingies. Yeah. And every time about 68, unless it's fresh, like they just came off the truck, they tend to be a little bit higher until they adjust, but right around 68. So, I mean, solid. I really enjoy going to that local one.
Yeah, I know from talk to master blenders, most of those guys usually just say, even like shop and lounge owners, you could just smoke the shit right off the truck unless it's traveling in the wintertime, but usually you can just smoke them right away. Your experience should be the same. Unless you got people that freeze their shit.
Should be the same.
Yep, just like the iPhone. When in September, it should be the same in January. The same experience.
I think it was so ridiculous. I just recently did the update, the software update on the damn thing. It literally asked for like something ridiculous, like 26 gigs of like free memory in order to do an update. I'm like, are you serious? Ridiculous.
Ever since I did the update, I don't have any memory on my fucking phone. So I think it forces you to upgrade to this. I got a 14 Pro, and I've been holding out on upgrading this bitch, but all my memory is shut. I'm deleting shit every day.
Well, you're always taking pictures. That's why.
Shit, most of the shit is like apps. But anyway, so we're at an hour and 46. So I don't know if you guys
where we going? What we doing?
Want to do the full 2 or?
It's up to you. We can do whatever. We can wrap it. Got a little off topic of the cello, but I think there was only so much to cover on that topic. I think we covered. Matt, that cigar you got in the travel humidor, where's it at? You pulled it out when I was gone?
Son of a gun. You weren't here. I'll show you.
Yeah. Is it a 26? 1926?
It's a 1964 Reserve? Family Reserve. Martin was saying he could tell, but on my camera, when I'm looking at it, it doesn't seem like it's coming through as it's maroon on my end.
It's definitely like a reddish brown from what I can see. Yeah, that's interesting.
And now I told Martin, I said, I'm still working on finding out who put this in there so that I can ask, when did you get this? Now, I've had aged cigars with yellow cello, and I have, with my minimal experience, I haven't seen one that was kind of had a maroonish tint to it. You know what I mean? It's always been brown. And so that, so I'll let you guys know so you can update everybody on another episode next week. I'll find out if this was something like, oh no, I've had that for 10 years. I doubt it.
Is that whole thing
the other day?
Is that whole thing supposed to be anonymous, or is it like, hey, who was the last person, or
I was the one. No, like I knew who it was going to next and all that. And so how it worked was whoever was getting it next didn't know it was coming to them, so it'd be kind of like a surprise, like, oh, what's this? Yay, I got it. Okay. They would open it up, take a picture of what's in it, take out whatever they want, the accessories, stickers, cigars, and then they just put back in the same type of stuff. And then they would say, who's it going to next, and send it to the next person.
So if you want it, you could put a bunch of Cuban rounds in there.
Cuban rounds, some quorum, some
well, and that's the thing is like it's always talked about up front, like, hey, everybody, when you get this, don't be just taking the Padrones and the good stuff and putting in the trash you don't want, because and this one did good. Everybody, you might see one or two yard guards now and then go in there, but everybody did pretty good. So
that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Throw a Boncano in there. We need to get this. We need to get Martin to get out there. Where the sampler packs at, Martin? Where the sampler packs at?
Oh. I got 3 for $50 right here. DM me.
3 out of 50, or 3 for 50?
3 for $50.
That includes shipping.
Yes.
There you go. 3 for 50 includes shipping straight to your doorstep from the man himself.
So when I did the contest, it was 4 cigars that people would, that's how it was supposed to go. Like you get, but I threw an extra one in there, so it ended up being like so I would throw 4 silvers in there and an extra like a royal blue in there. So they ended up with 5. Regardless if I said it was 4 in there. Only person that didn't get extra was the guy that won the box. Otherwise, everybody else they got an extra.
There you go. And how's the feedback been from that?
It's been pretty solid. It's been pretty solid. I mean, guys are, I guess, like what we just stated, people want to age their cigars their way. You had some people that smoke them right away, posted. Others who said they're going to let them sit for a little bit.
All right. Did you remind them there's a Boveda in there? They don't need to. They're ready to rock and roll.
I didn't put no fucking Boveda in there. No, I did.
You use those other ones. You use the boost, the Integra boost.
Put a salt pack in there that comes in the shoes and shit.
No, who? It was a while ago, but it was almost like those gels. That was their humidifier pack. I don't know. I forget who sent them in. Somebody sent them in, and it wasn't a Boveda. It wasn't, but it was literally like those silica gels. But it was well contained. It wasn't messy. And I'm like, I haven't seen these in years. But I mean, they came. I put the meter to them, and they were good. So I was like, that's different. I did recently get a package that did have no Bovedas. I'm like, ooh, right. I'm gonna let those sit for a while.
Cigar page.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying cigar pages.
I was gonna say.
They just drop it in a box. They don't even fucking. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Like, how the fuck is this gonna?
You got your sealed bag. You got your sealed stuff, and it's like the Boveda's. It's like, wait, it's outside of it.
It's just thrown in the box.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I've never gotten that, but I have gotten them without Bovedas. I'm like, and then I'm looking at shipping. I'm like, this thing literally sat on the road for like 5 days. Like, there's no Boveda in here. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna chill for a while,
or a super cold truck, and
yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're sitting for at least 4 weeks. So to the bottom they go.
So just gonna close this out. Who's cello? Not the instrument. I guess if you had a shop, my recommendation: throw your cello inside the ashtray, piss on the floor. Do what you want. Make yourself home. Use their Wi-Fi. Buy one cigar. Babysit that bitch all day. That's my recommendation. But no, seriously, treat your brick and mortars right. If you're there to buy one cigar, buy 2, buy 3.
Most definitely. Reach out to your local B&Ms. One, they're not carrying Broncano. Have them reach out, request them in the store. I'm telling you will not be disappointed. Luxury cigars have them, small batch. Get your hands on them any which way you can. But again, it's your journey. Smoke everything. Enjoy that journey. You're going to develop. Be sure to check out all the channels, ape.herf, Sober Cigars with Matt, Broncano Cigars. Reach out to every outlet. Get involved in the community. You'd be surprised at how open the community is. We're here to share information and build it all up. So don't be afraid. Join up. Matt, what you got?
Wash your hands and stay hydrated. I appreciate it, everybody.
Same. Please wash your hands. Cover your nose when you sneeze too. God, that pisses me off. But anyways, that's all we got, man. That's all we got.
Peace.
Later.